a critical juncture for any organization is when a company's faced with decisions about cost control or maybe cutting some things from a budget. How does that affect a team's decision-making process, and what are the challenges in communicating that to a team?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a real challenging one, and one that I'm sure I'm not the only one that has had to deal with it, especially in these economic times. So one of the things that we have gone through is looking at our expenses and doing what you said, cost control, and making some really tough decisions as to what we're going to cost. And my goal is to look at our expenses and cut as much as we can without touching the employees, without getting to the point where we have to cut down on staff. And but sometimes you have to make that decision. Sometimes you have to be involved and you have to decide that we have to go that route. And having a team, like I told you, I have somebody in each office that is either a vice president or regional manager, somebody that I communicate with really a lot and very often. It's beginning to have those conversations at the operations team level early. Just not communicate that, by the way, guys, we got to cut down 30% by, next month. But really letting everybody know what's happening. And in terms of cost, we share our financials with everyone every month. But at the operations team level, we do it on a more detailed basis. So there are no surprises. And I think that's what's key, that people are not surprised because they have already heard that, if things don't change, this is the direction we're going to have to go. And so it's part of the, I think that early is the key.
Not only that, it reinforces the early and the openness which you have, reinforces that level of trust, which during times when there's cuts or changes, that can occasionally cause the employee base to have issues with trust. But definitely, that openness, I think, is very critical to that. As
yeah, and you really shake the trust foundation when you make changes like that, no matter what. I mean, you can have a really strong trust foundation, which I believe we have here at AD Marble. But when you are letting go or having to lay off employees that are sitting right next to you on a daily basis and are your friends also, in addition to your coworkers, that has an impact no matter what. So how we deal with that and how we reinforce what we're doing and why we're doing it, it's really giving the why and really explaining to the employees that, look, in order to save, and I'm using a very big word here because that's not where we are, but in order to do what we need to do as a company, these are the things that need to happen, and these are the reasons why we make these decisions. So they can see every month what the numbers are like, and they can tell. They all know what they mean too, which is important. It's not just about giving them the numbers and saying, here, we're sharing financials with you, we're great. We actually teach them what these numbers mean. And, if that one goes down, that's a problem. If that one goes up, that's a good sign. And so they understand what's going on.